When there's a horrible incident, an explosion or an attack, your first thoughts are with the victims, hope there's not too many victims, hope there's not a fatality, hope my family are not involved as potential victims. And then you start thinking, God, I hope the person doing this is not justifying their acts in the name of Islam. For a number of reasons, not because we're more responsible, but because, we know the faith and it leads to all sorts of issues and problems. And the reality is, in the recent past, in the current and for the foreseeable future, that's going to be a way of life. And that's why it's so important, the language we use, how we conduct ourselves, how we do politics, how the media behaves. Because what you're inadvertently doing is for those, look, there are many Americans, there are many Brits, there are many people living in the West who, for very good reasons, have never met a Muslim. They've never broken bread with a Muslim. They've never worked with a Muslim. And so the only experience they have is what they see in the media. And if the only portrayal you have of the religion of Islam is people justifying acts of terror in the name of Islam, you may inadvertently believe that all Muslims are terrorists.
And a role model of your stature in politics doesn't exist in America.
Well, that's not really fair, because Muhammad Ali, who passed away, recently,
who's been elected to office.
Yeah, sure. And that's why, one of the reasons, I've not declined requests from mayors of other cities to do events with their minority communities. I think I have a responsibility.
Well, that's interesting, that you can provide something of a role model, even though you're not an American, coming here to American Muslim communities. To be fair, Barack Obama's election in 2008 inspired me, inspired my children, and we can all learn from each other. That's the joy of the UK and the USA, London and New York. We're so similar. Okay, we're skirting around the issue of Donald Trump, so let's bring him up. Do you still think that his views on Islam are ignorant? There are tens and thousands, dare I say, millions of Muslims around the world who love America, beacon of tolerance, respect. They want to come in to study, to work, to invest, to go on a holiday. There are Americans who are proud Americans and proud Muslims. And the message you are sending, inadvertently or intentionally, is Western liberal values and mainstream Muslim are not compatible. And my point was, you're inadvertently playing into the hands of so-called ISIS or Daesh, because they say the same thing. And so I think it's possible to be a Westerner and a Muslim. It's possible to have multiple layers of identity: Brit, Londoner, European, Asian origin, Pakistan heritage, and Muslim. And so that was my point. I don't want to bust up with Donald Trump, but my point was, look, you are standing to be the most powerful person in the world, the president of the USA. The rest of the world looks upon you with admiration as a country. And I think, running for the office brings a responsibility. I don't want to get involved in the US elections. I do not want to get involved. But, I can't but respond to an invitation where I'm the exception to a rule which I think is unfair. Maybe Donald Trump is just reflecting what people think. 75% of Republican primary voters in some states supported his ban on Muslims. Oh, but that's what the American public is telling him they want. One of the roles of a politician, in a non-patronising way, is to inform and educate. There are amazing Americans who are sports people, who are engineers, who are medics, who are scientists, doing great stuff in this country, who have Islamic faith. I met yesterday hundreds of proud New Yorkers, proud Muslims, doing an incredible amount. One of the teams I met yesterday, the 9/11 site, but also some of the protection team, are Muslims. And so what are you saying about them? And I think, as somebody who wants to hold elected office, I think, you have a responsibility. Sadiq Khan, thanks very much for joining me. Thank you very much. Thank you.